Good morning to all. So in the last class we discussed about the chapter The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4 by Sue Townsend, and basically in the last class we go through the major details of this author and also some introduction to this chapter, which is a diary by Sue Townsend. And Sue Townsend was born in 1946 at Leicester, and also her life was not at all a bed of roses, and which means it was not at all successful in its overall in its nature. And we already discussed about some life events of this author and also the major works by Sue Townsend. And today we have this chapter itself, which is the diary by Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4. So before that, the Adrian Mole, who is the major character in this chapter, in this novel, which is the Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4. So we have a small part from this novel, which is this Secret Diary by of Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4. So from this novel we have some pieces of this diary events or the diary pieces of this kind of details. So we have a kind of 5 to 6 topics from this diary. So before going to the chapter itself, we can go through the outline of the test. So what's regarding this test, about this test or about this diary in a very short manner. So basically the first part of this diary entries are some of the days in the month of January. So for a diary, the month, date and everything regarding the colloquial or this kind of things are very important. So in order to get a clear detail of a diary, we should need the diary date of diary which was written, and also the year and also the day, something like that. So all these things is very important while we focusing on the diary. So we have a diary entry of Adrian Mole, and this is also in the title itself, it signifies that this is a secret diary of Adrian Mole. So this is not at all a public kind of this writing, and this is a kind of privacy of Adrian Mole. But we have this chapter or this diary as a kind of prescribed test, so we have to focus on this diary in a very detailed manner. So the first part of these diary entries are some of the days in the month of January, and here Adrian expresses, who is this major character in this diary entry. So Adrian expresses his concerns and anxiety being a teenager. സോ നമ്മൾ ലാസ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ്സിൽ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ഈ ഡയറി എൻട്രിയിൽ നമ്മുടെ പ്രധാന ഒരു ക്യാരക്ടർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അഡ്രിയാൻ മോളാണ്. സോ അഡ്രിയാൻ മോളിൻ്റെ ഒരു ടീനേജറിൻ്റെ ഒരു ആൻസൈറ്റി, അവരുടെ ഈ അഡ്രിയാൻ മോളിൻ്റെ ഒരു ലൈഫ് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസസ്, ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് നമുക്ക് ഈ ഡയറിയിൽ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുക. സോ അഡ്രിയാൻ എക്സ്പ്രസസ് ഹിസ് കൺസേൺസ് ആൻഡ് ആൻസൈറ്റി ബീയിങ് എ ടീനേജർ. So basically he was a teenager, and his anxiety regarding the life and also some events in his life. So all these things is very clearly written in this diary entry. So going through the first part of this diary, we have this kind of some concerns or some kind of anxiety being a teenager, who is Adrian. So he expresses some kind of this anxiety in this diary entry. Then this first diary entry was on written on Wednesday, 14th January. So on 14th January he wrote this diary entry, and we have to focus on this diary entry in a detailed manner. So in this part, the first part of this diary entry, he writes about his first day on joining the library. So this is the experiences of a boy in which he joining a library. Then he got 2 books. Basically, one was Care of the Skin, second one was Origin of Species, and another one was by a woman. So he just go through the major 3 books, which includes the Care of the Skin, second one the Origin of Species, and the third one which was written by a woman. And this book is the Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So Jane Austen's one of the most important work was this Pride and Prejudice. So he go through all these kind of 3 books. Basically, I repeat, first one is the Care of the Skin, then the Origin of Species, and another one was by a woman who is Jane Austen, and that book was Pride and Prejudice. Then Adrian felt he impressed the librarian, and he added that she might be intellectual like him, and that is why she did not notice his spot on the face. So this means that all these works or these books are very famous in its content. So basically, by taking this book from the library in a normal way, the librarian will think about this student or this boy regarding that boy will be an intellectual in which he takes these kind of books. So it is a basic fact, but he wrote in its diary. He wrote in regarding this diary was to signify the importance of this library as well as these books. Then that's first point that we should focus on while go through the first part of this diary entry. Then following that, we have another important aspect regarding his life. Adrian also realizes that none of his teachers has noticed him as an intellectual, and also he also assumed his teachers would be sorry if he become famous. So basically, he was a teenager, so he has many anxiety regarding his life. So once he became an intellectual, he supposed, so suppose he became a famous intellectual, maybe his teachers would be sorry if he become famous, which means that the teacher does not recognize him as an intellectual. Basically, he may not be an intellectual, but the acts or the actions done by Adrian Mole in the library, maybe the librarian said that he was an intellectual like that. So he says that his teachers should say sorry regarding in which they do not accept him as a intellectual. So ഒരു യാഥാർത്ഥ്യമാണ് ഇവിടെ അഡ്രിയൻ പറയുന്നതെങ്കിലും ഇത് ജസ്റ്റ് ആളുടെ ഒരു അസംഷൻ മാത്രമാണ്, ആളുടെ ഒരു ചിന്താഗതി മാത്രമാണ്. ബിക്കോസ് ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽ എന്ന് ലൈബ്രറി മാത്രമാണ് എന്ന് പറയാൻ ശ്രമിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ഈ ശ്രമം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഒരു അസംഷൻ മാത്രമാണ് ഇതിലേക്ക് ഈ അഡ്രിയൻ മോളിനെ നയിക്കുന്നത്. Next, he mentioned about a new girl in his class. So regarding in his class, he mentioned about a girl. So this girl or this character of this girl is very important, and her name was Pandora. So Pandora was one of the most important character in this throughout this diary entry, and this means that this diary entry is a kind of his life event, and basically he gives a clear idea about all these kind of events within all these divisions of this diary entry. So this diary entry is divided into different segments, different topics. So we only focus on the first topic, which is the diary entry which was written on Wednesday, January 14th, and in this segment we have these details, which includes the library scene in which Adrian goes to library, then find out this kind of books, and also many kind of these changes or the some assumptions by him being an intellectual. Maybe the librarian may said that he like a intellectual, but basically it was just an assumption or a kind of his desire to become a intellectual. So that was the first part. Secondly, we have the another important character who is Pandora, who is a girl. She was a girl in his class, and also her name was Pandora, but she preferred to be addressed as Bots. So it was her nickname, Bots. So it was regarding her details, and she sat next to him in geography class, and he also felt he might fall in love with her considering his age. So here we have a clear idea regarding a typical class at the age of this 13 or 14. At that age, the kind of this desire in his mind, and also some experiences, anxiety, that kind of emotions in the class. So it is very important that we also maybe go through all these kind of activities. So it is just like a kind of humor in a very simple sense. So the character of Pandora, it is very important, and she sat next to him in geography class. He also felt that he might fall in love with her considering his age. And this is regarding the first entry of this this diary entry which was written on Wednesday, January 14th. Then we have the second diary entry which was written on the full moon. It is typically titled by the full moon, and it was written on January 20th. So before going to that, we have the textual side of this content. In the textbook, page number 110 onwards, we have this diary entry in a very detailed manner. So the secret diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13, 3/4. So the first part, which was written on Wednesday, January 14th. So I just go through this diary entry from the textual side. So joined the library, got care of the skin, origin of species, and a book by a woman my mother is always going on about. It is called Pride and Prejudice by a woman called Jane Austen. And I could tell the librarian was impressed. Perhaps she is an intellectual like me. She didn't look at my spot, so perhaps it is getting smaller about time. None of the teachers at the school have noticed that I am an intellectual. They will be sorry when I am famous. There is a new girl in our class. She sits next to me in the geography class, and also she is all right, and her name is Pandora, and but she likes being called both. And also, don't ask me why I might fall in love with her. Each time I fell in love. After all, I am just 13, 3/4, which means about between age of 13 to 14 years old. So this is the first entry in this diary, which was written on Wednesday, January 14th. So like I already discussed earlier, in this segment we have only two major points that we should focus on. So ആദ്യത്തെ പോയിന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒന്ന് ഈ അഡ്രിയാൻ മോള് ഒരു ലൈബ്രറിയിൽ പോയിട്ട് അവിടുന്ന് 2-3 ബുക്ക്സ് എടുക്കുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ആ ബുക്ക്സ് എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ അതൊക്കെ ഒരു ഫേമസ് ബുക്ക് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് അവിടുത്തെ ലൈബ്രറിയൻ വിചാരിക്കുകയാണ് ഈ അഡ്രിയാൻ മോൾ ഒരു ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽ ആണെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുകയാണ്. സോ ദിസ് ഈസ് ദി ഫസ്റ്റ് സെഗ്മെൻറ്റ് ഇൻ ദിസ് ഡയറി എൻട്രി. സെക്കൻഡ്ലി the character of this girl who is Pandora, and she preferred to be addressed as Bots, a nickname, and she sat next to him in the geography class, and also he also felt he maybe fall in love with her considering his age. So this is regarding the first entry, a detailed analysis of the first entry in this diary. So this is regarding the first entry. So just go through this diary entry. Only we have to focus on these 2 points. First one is library scene. Second one is this classroom scene, which is basically focused on this girl who is Pandora. And also we should go through these 3 major novels which is mentioned in this diary entry. They are, I repeat, The Care of the Skin, Origin of Species, and also Pride and Prejudice. So this is regarding the first diary entry. Now we have the second entry in this diary, in this chapter. So this entry was written on Saturday, January 17th. So basically this entry is regarding only a character who is Dr. Taylor. So just go through this diary entry first, then we will go through the explanation. So firstly, Saturday, January 17th, the second part of this diary entry. So Dr. Taylor must be one of those overworked GPs you are always reading about. He didn't examine the spot, he just said I mustn't, which means worry about, and was everything all right at home. I told him about my bad home life and my poor diet, but he said I was well nourished and go home and count my blessings. So much for the National Health Service. So this is a very small diary entry in this segment, the second one, which was written on Saturday, January 17th. And in this segment we have one more character in this diary entry, who is Dr. Taylor. So he writes about in this diary entry, just focus on this Dr. Taylor, and basically Dr. Taylor was his physician, to whom Adrian shared all his worries regarding his sport, his family, and his poor diet. So regarding all his commonly or the most very silly things, things regarding his life, regarding his, the life of his, especially in the school life and also in the at the home. So all these kind of worries and problems were discussed with this daughter. So basically here this daughter was like a friend of Adrian Mole, and also Dr. Taylor consoled him and often advised him that he was well nourished and to count on his blessings, especially for the National Health Service. So this means that in this segment we have only one topic that we should focus on, which is the character of Dr. Taylor. സോ ഇവിടെ പറയുന്നത് ഡോക്ടർ ടൈലർ എന്ന ഒരു ഡോക്ടറുടെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഫിസിഷ്യൻ്റെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള ചെറിയൊരു ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് മാത്രമാണ്. സോ ഹിയർ അഡ്രിയൻ ഷെയർസ് ഹിസ് വറീസ് റിഗാർഡിംഗ് ഹിസ് സ്പോർട്ട്, ഹിസ് ഫാമിലി ആൻഡ് ഹിസ് പുവർ ഡയറ്റ്, ബട്ട് ലേറ്റർ ദിസ് ഡോക്ടർ ജസ്റ്റ് കൺസോൾസ് ഹിം ആൻഡ് അഡ്വൈസ് ഹിം ദാറ്റ് he was well nourished, which means he is fully fit and know to count on his blessings, especially for the National Health Service. So it is regarding his the life, some events in his life. Basically National Health Service means a kind of a program which was in his school. So basically while go through this diary entry which was written on Saturday, January 17th, we have to focus on only a character who is Dr. Taylor. He is the physician of Adrian Mole. So that's regarding the second part of this diary entry. Now we have the third part, which is titled as Full Moon. So and also we have a subtitle for that, which is My Mother is Looking for a Job. So from that sentence also it is very clear about the entry, diary entry of this specific diary entry, and it was written on January 20th, Tuesday, January 20th. So why I am again focusing on this date and all the day and also all these things is that for a diary entry all these things are very important. So you may have maybe writing this kind of diary entries in a very short manner, so it is very good habit. But here we have a diary entry of a teenager who is just 13 year of old. So this means that his anxiety, his emotions, his expressions and all these things are present in this diary entry. Basically this is a diary, but this diary entry is taken from a novel which is also titled by the name The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13, 3/4, that we discussed in the last class regarding his famous works by Sue Townsend. So this third part of this diary entry is regarding the full moon and my mother is looking for a job. So it is written, it is in the textbook, it is in page number 111. So here we have Tuesday, January 20th, full moon, my mother is looking for a job. So now I could end up a delinquent roaming the streets and all that. And what will I do during the holidays? Except I will have to sit in a laundrette all day to keep warm. I will be a latchkey kid whenever that is. And who will look after the dog? And also and what will I have to eat all the day? So this is some anxiety in his life regarding his some life events. And also he continues in this diary entry that I will be forced to eat the crisps and sweets until my skin is ruined and my teeth falls out. So it is a very commonly truth regarding everyone's life. So that's regarding in this diary entry. And also I think my mother is being very selfish. She won't be any good in a job anyway. She isn't even right and she drinks too much at a Christmas. So in the last three sentences Adrian Mole just points out regarding his mother, and he says that my mother is looking for a job, but according to him maybe he don't get this kind of job due to his her activity. So this is regarding a simple overview, a textual overview of this content, which is the full moon, my mother is looking for a job. And also we have one more diary entry in this segment, which is written on Thursday, January 22nd. So I just go through this segment also, and we discuss this all this segment in a very detailed manner. So on Thursday, January 22nd, my mother has got an interview for a job. She is practicing her typing and not doing any cooking. So what will it be like if she gets the job? And my father should put his foot down before we are a broken home. So this is regarding some major facts regarding his mother, and also some true facts regarding his family too. So we will go through this some detailed analysis of this segment, which is the full moon, my mother is looking for a job. And the first segment was written on Tuesday, January 20th, and also second segment was on January 22nd, which was on Thursday. So we go through this kind of details. So in this segment, in the full moon section, we have here a clear detail regarding some events in his life. So in this, he talks about his mother who was searching for a job. He expressed his insecurity and also dilemma about his vacation, and his worry regarding who would take care of him and what would he eat all day. And he was sure that he would be forced to eat crisps and also the sweets until his skin be ruined and also teeth fell out. He even felt he was being selfish. He even had a notion that his mother would not be good at any jobs, and according to him, she was not brilliant enough as well. So this is exclusively regarding his mother, and also some basic facts in his life, which includes the kind of these food items that he preferred, and his some anxiety in which maybe his skin may be ruined and teeth fell out due to this kind of sweets and chocolates and also the crisps, when he was forced to eat this kind of sweets and crisps. So this means that some kind of anxiety of a teenager. So that's in the first section of this segment. Secondly, we have the mother's details, in which his mother was jobless, and he says that his mother is searching for a job, and also then he expressed his insecurity and also the dilemma about his vacation, his worry regarding who would take care of him and what would he eat all the day. So this means that a very simple kind of some anxiety of a teenager, which is very common, in which what about his future, and also regarding his fooding and also like that. So it is very silly things, but he just focused on all these aspects in his diaries. This means that one thing is that his innocence. Secondly, he does not aware about all these things. So which may be he is in a teenage situation. So that's regarding this section. And also he even felt he was being selfish. So it is also a self-realization. Then he even had a notion that his mother would not be good at any jobs, and according to him, she was not brilliant enough as well. So this is also a kind of evaluation by him regarding his mother, in which according to him, Adriamol says that his mother would not be good at any jobs, and also according to him, she was not brilliant at enough as well. So this means that there is a kind of segment, kind of division in his mindset, in which he needs a proper security in his life, and only to enjoy the life in a very good manner. Secondly, he is bothered about his mother's jobs. So it is also a very important aspect in this diary entry. So this is regarding the first part in this segment, which is full moon, my mother is looking for a job, which was written on January 20th. now we have the second section that we already go through the test side. So it was written on January 22nd on Thursday, and Adrian talks about his mother's interview for a job, and he put across his fear regarding the situation at home after his mother gets the job. And it was because as she started typing and she failed to do cooking, and he even felt his father should look into the matter seriously before their house gets shattered. So here there is a kind of truly exclusively regarding his family, in which firstly he again tells about his mother's interview, and in which he says that his mother's interview is not at all he did not expect a kind of job from that interview, and because and also he puts across his fear regarding the situation at home after his mother gets the job. And it was because as she started typing, she failed to do cooking. So for a teenager, or for every child and every something, how the most important factor of a human being is the cooking and food, the kind of this food and all that. So most of this teenager, especially teenager, they have a kind of a favorite food, favorite dish and like that. So here why he just feared regarding the situation at home, because first thing is that his mother does not have a proper job. Secondly, she started typing and she failed to do cooking. So because his mother was started to bring back from this kind of this cooking, and also he even then think about his father, and maybe his father should look into the matter seriously before their house get shattered. So maybe if the mother does not get a proper job, then his father maybe take care of that. So it is exclusively regarding the family of Adrian Mole. സോ ഇവിടെ ഈ രണ്ടാമത്തെ സെഗ്മെൻറ്റിൽ പ്രധാനമായിട്ട് രണ്ടാമത്തെ സെഗ്മെൻറ്റാണ് നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ പോകുന്നത്, അതായത് ഫുൾ മൂൺ എന്നൊരു ടോപ്പിക്ക്. സോ ഈ ടോപ്പിക്കിൽ പറയുന്നത് ഒന്ന് മദറിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ്, ഈ അഡ്രിയാൻ മോളിൻ്റെ മദറിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ്, ഹു ഈസ് സീക്കിംഗ് ഫോർ എ ജോബ്. സെക്കൻഡ്ലി അവരുടെ ഫാമിലി മാറ്ററിനെ മൊത്തമായിട്ടാണ് പറയുന്നത്, അതായത് അവർക്ക് ഈ അഡ്രിയാൻ മോളിൽ വരുന്ന കുറച്ച് ആൻസൈറ്റി, എസ്പെഷ്യലി ഫുഡിങ്ങിൻ്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ, അതുപോലെ അവരുടെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ വരുന്ന കുറച്ച് ചെറിയ ചെറിയ സംഭവങ്ങൾ, സില്ലി സംഭവങ്ങളാണ്. വളരെ സിമ്പിളായിട്ടുള്ള സംഭവം, നമുക്ക് ചിലപ്പോൾ സില്ലി ആയിട്ട് തോന്നിയിരിക്കാം, ബട്ട് ഫോർ എ ടീനേജർ നമ്മൾ ആ ഒരു പോയിൻ്റ് ഓഫ് വ്യൂ കാണുമ്പോൾ അതൊരു വാസ്തവമായിട്ട് അതൊരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് കാര്യമാണ്. ദെൻ ലാസ്റ്റ് ഹി സേസ് ദാറ്റ് if his mother failed to do cooking, and also he even felt his father should to look into this matter seriously before their house got shattered. So this means that maybe if his mother does not get a proper job, then his father may take care of that family. So it is a kind of anxiety from the point of view of Adrian Mole, in a very quick manner, in a very simple manner. So that's regarding this second segment. So the first segment was regarding the kind of library scene, then the classroom scene, in which he just point out some 3 novels. Then regarding his girlfriend who is Pandora, then daughter Taylor. In that segment we have also another topic which is regarding his physician who is daughter Taylor. Then we have this full moon section, which is my mother is looking for a job. In this segment we have only 2 topics that we should focus on. First one is his anxiety in his life, second one is family matter. And regarding the family matter, first the most important thing is the mother's job, and also some anxiety in his life. So all these things comes under the first 2 major topics. Now we have the third topic, which was written on Sunday, January 25th, and this the title of this segment is Third After Epiphany. So it is another important event in his life. So we can go through this test itself. So third after Epiphany, the time is specifically written. It was on Sunday, January 25th, and time is 10 a.m. So I am ill with all the worry too weak to write much, and also nobody has noticed I haven't eaten any breakfast. And at 2 p.m. he again continues that had two junior aspirants at midday and rallied a bit. Perhaps when I am famous and my diary is discovered, people will understand the torment of being 13 and 3/4-year-old undiscovered intellectual. And at 6 p.m. Pandora, my lost love. So this is just a memory regarding Pandora. At 8 p.m. Pandora. Just again he just go through these sweet memories with Pandora. Then at midnight had a crab paste sandwich and a stosma, which means a kind of this food, and also is regarding his some events in his life. So this sadisma means a kind of a cream which is for his good of his skin. So basically he is very care basically he was care about regarding his skin and all the regarding the health and all this small and each and everything aspect of his life in a very simple manner. So that's regarding the third part of this diary entry. It is very comparatively small, and also we have some more divisions in this segment, which includes two more divisions, February 17th, 7th and also March 2nd. Then we have another segment after that. So we will go through on these two entries too, which includes the Saturday February 7th and also Monday March 2nd. So this regarding this first diary entry, which comes under the topic the third after Epiphany. So in this segment we have a clear idea regarding this diary entry, in which this diary entry is divided into different time, which means in each and every aspect of a day he just divided the day into different segments. So in the first segment his some thoughts regarding his life, secondly some thoughts about his girlfriend, then at the end at the midnight he just wrote about his food, night food, and also some kind of this health tips regarding his life. So that's the content of this third diary entry. And this entry was written on Sunday, January 25th, and it is titled Third After Epiphany, which means the revelation. And the term Epiphany means the revelation. വെളിപാട് എന്നാണ് മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയുക. So in the morning he was feeling ill with all the worries and was unable even to write well, and he even complained that no one noticed him of not having breakfast. So here we have two important aspects. First one is a kind of self-realization, which is meant by the term epiphany, a kind of revelation. Then in the morning, which means at the from the time from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at that segment. So he says that he was feeling ill and with all the worries and was able even to write well. So this means that ഇത്തരം ഒരു ആൻസൈറ്റി, ഇത്തരം കുറേ വറീസ് ഉള്ള ഒരു സമയത്ത് അതുകൊണ്ട് ഇയാൾക്ക് ഈ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഈ അഡ്രിയൻ മോളിനെ ആ സമയത്ത് ഒരു ഇൽനെസ് തോന്നി. And then because of that he couldn't write anything. So അതാണ് ഫസ്റ്റ് സെഗ്മെന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Secondly, we have another important thing in which he even complained that no one noticed him of not having breakfast. So this is very important aspect, especially for a teenager, and no one take care about him in his family. Basically his mother does not just noticing this silly thing, especially not having the breakfast and like that, and also his father also just not cares at that time. So he just complained himself, or he's just not down that regarding that, and he says that no one noticed him of not having breakfast. So this is another important fact on that day. Then he continues that, and in the afternoon Adrian had two junior aspirants and was getting better, which means he just got some kind of medical assistance and was getting better. And also he anticipated that once when he becomes famous and when his diary entry is discovered, people would understand the agony of being a 13 3/4, which means his the age, and also a 13 3/4-year-old undiscovered intellectual. So he himself just point out as an undiscovered intellectual. So സ്വയമായിട്ടാണ് കരുതുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥ. അത് ശരിക്കും പറയുന്നത് ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻസ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ബൂസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന തരത്തിലുള്ള സംഭവമാണ്. സോ ഇവിടെ പറയുന്നത് അവനാരും കെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല ആ സമയത്തൊന്നും. ഉച്ച കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്, ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ആൾ പറയാണ് he just got some kind of this medicine, and after that he became getting better, and then he just anticipate regarding his life that once he become famous, ഒരിക്കൽ ഞാൻ ഒന്ന് അത് വലിയൊരാളായി തീരുമ്പോൾ, when his diary entry discovered, when this diary entry became more public and like that we are going to through this diary entry, and then he says that he just desires, he just anticipate that people would understand the agony of being 13 3/4-year-old undiscovered intellectual. സോ എത്ര ഒരു മനോഹരമായിട്ടാണ് ആൾ എഴുതിയിരിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് ആലോചിക്കുക. സോ ഇവിടെ പറയുന്നത് ഒരു 13 വയസ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 14 വയസ്സിലേക്ക് കടക്കുന്ന ഒരു ചെറിയ ടീനേജറിൻ്റെ ചെറിയ ഒരു ചിന്തയിൽ വരുന്ന ചില ഡയറി എൻട്രീസാണ് പറയുന്നത്. ബട്ട് പറയുന്ന നമ്മുടെ ക്യാരക്ടർ അഡ്രിയ മോളിൻ്റെ ഒരു ചിന്താഗതി പറയുന്നത് വളരെ വ്യത്യസ്തമാണ്. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് വെരി ക്ലിയർലി we can go through this while go through this diary entry. It is very clear about his intention of writing this diary entry, only to point out the main these kind of events, some striking moments in his life in this diary format. So that's regarding this first segment of this diary entry. And later he says that in the evening he thought of Pandora. So Pandora is one of the important character in this diary entry. His lost love. So basically Pandora was his lost love. That's because he just calls Pandora my lost love at 6 p.m. Then at 8 p.m. he just again calls Pandora several times. So this means that the kind of this his intention, or his the kind of his that he gave the importance in his life to Pandora was very true fact, in which he just loved without any kind of this disturbance, but basically that love was not at all successful. So that's regarding the later part of on that day, which was on Sunday, January 25th. And at the end, in the evening, he thought of Pandora, his lost love. Then finally during the midnight, he had a crab paste sandwich, and also the satsuma, as it was good for his skin. So basically it was his food during the midnight, and also it is also very good for his health, basically for his skin. So that's regarding the day Sunday, January 25th, which is titled as the third after Epiphany. So this is the third segment in this diary entry. So the second part of this segment, which is the third after Epiphany, is divided into two major segments, which includes the February and March, 2 days from that this month. So basically Saturday, February 7th, and also Monday, March 2nd. So these two segments is regarded as the second part of this segment. So I think we will be focusing on this topic in the next class. So in this class we go through the first 3 major segments of this diary entry, and also an introduction to this chapter. So please go through all these kind of diary entries, and from the textual side, from page number 110 to 1112. So 112. So from in this between these pages you get these kind of topics. Basically the first one was regarding the library scene, then the classroom scene, especially regarding the Pandora, then Dr. Taylor regarding the physician. Then this second segment was regarding titled as the full moon, my mother is looking for a job, and also that kind of some important facts regarding his family. Third segment, which is titled as third after Epiphany, which is exclusively regarding his a kind of a diary entry of a day, a full day, in which no one cares about him, and also his feelings, especially about Pandora. and some his health tips during the midnight, which includes then some kind of the food, the crab paste of sandwich and a satsuma. So this means that he is very health conscious about his health. So these are the major content that we discussed today. So we have further details, or the second part of this diary entry, that we should focus on the next class. So that's for today. Thank you. Happy learning.